this community, I can feel it's palpable. Like the love in this room is so palpable. Do you guys feel that?
Yeah.
As well? Yes, and of course, Vivian and the band sets the stage for that and creates the setting for it. But I walked in and immediately was like, oh, so nice. So nice to come back for a bit. So obviously, the secret is given away that we're talking about giving today. And so when you think about Mother's Day and Christmas and Father's Day and volunteering and the Pay It Forward movement, they all have one thing in common, and that's giving, right? And so giving can be so delicious. And I know for me, it's my favorite thing to do, especially when I'm having a no good, very bad day. I go out and hold the door for somebody or see where I can, pay it forward by paying for coffee for the guy behind me at Tim Hortons. Switch my energy so it's not on me anymore and it's just more outward focused. When we were in lockdown in 2020, my husband and I created a movement called the Soup and Bun Run. We adopted an elder community in High River, and we once a week would go out, and my husband was a chef, and he would make these signature soups that people would pay $15 to $25 for, and we would just give them out for free. And we found we would make bread, and we just went to these people because they were locked in, and they didn't have the opportunity to see people. And so we would stand and be in conversation, of course, 20 feet apart at that point. 6 feet wasn't even a thing. It was like, be on the street, right? And we would just drop these. It started with my grandparents' community, and then it extended and extended. And so when I say that, giving is one of our favorite things, I'm not exaggerating. Like, it is something that I genuinely, truly enjoy. We do community cleanups in Okotoks, and my husband runs the electric scooters out there, and we unlock all the scooters so everybody can just ride a scooter around and pick up garbage. Like, how fun is that, right? You can't help but feel like you're 12 years old when you're on an electric scooter. It's so much fun. And then, last but not least, and most currently, is I volunteer at a women's shelter for young moms, teens and 20s who are having babies and they're scared. And I get to go and be that force of just groundedness and love, and let them know that it's going to be okay. All of humanity was created this way, in this really seemingly scary way, and yet we all exist, right? And it's going to be okay. And so I think that there is endless ways to give, and the fastest way to shift energy in general is to give. And recently I was preparing a lesson for a mastermind masterclass that I teach on the regular, and this lesson was around the science of giving. And it came across some documentation that was actually quite surprising. It was super alarming to me. And that was that we actually have embedded in our DNA a chemical that is released, that releases a drive energy, that when somebody gives to us, we automatically want to give back. And it's not because we're part of a beautiful culture or we've been raised in a really nice way and we've got manners, but it's embedded and encoded in who we are to reciprocate giving. Now, of course, there's people who've known this for years, marketers and advertisers, right? So sometimes that can feel really good and sometimes it can feel a little manipulative, okay? So I'll give you an example. Marketers and advertisers who've known this have brought into the world the idea of food sampling. Anybody been to Costco? Yes, they finally brought it back. I noticed just the other week, I was like, yeah, food sampling's back. I don't know if that's my line of normal or not, but that might be it. That might be it. And so they give you a little of whatever it is, and then you go and buy, right? And you buy a lot of what they're looking for. And so that feels kind of delicious. Or you go to a trade show or market and they've got those free pens. Yes, I'm a teacher, I have a teacher background, which means I have steno is my thing. You know, how people would go and they're like, oh, I love Christmas and I like back to school shopping, right? I was like, oh my gosh, new pens is a really big deal. So when I'm at trade shows and I get that free pen, they've got their marketing on that pen, right? Clever little monkeys. And then I go, oh, inside my body goes, well, maybe I could give them, a customer, right? Oh, they gave to me, so I'm gonna give to them. Oh, I met this really great person at this trade show, and I got a free pen for them. I have their information, just a sec. And I go pull it out of my pens. And that's a nice way of being able to utilize that psychology in order to, advantage the disadvantaged, right? However, there's also some pretty manipulative ways out there. How many of you have received, not to give them a bad rap, but from the Heart and Stroke Foundation, how many of you received the free Christmas cards in the mail? Is that right? Yeah, yeah. You get the free Christmas card and then they ask for a donation under it. And so they have utilized this psychology to go, well, I'm giving you a gift. Now you can give us a gift, right? And anybody in here fall for it? Because I totally have. I was like, I at least need to pay them back for the cards, right? Which were probably gifted to them already, and it was probably free. But it was a very clever way of using marketing, but it feels a little seedy. It feels a little manipulative, right? They also have a gifting catalog, which I think this is kind of a better way. Somebody probably came forward and was like, guys, come on. They have a gifting catalog. When you buy a gift out of the catalog for somebody, you get a card as a gift back to you, but then also a donation is made to the Heart and Stroke Foundation. So all of the stuff in the catalog was gifted to them, and it becomes this more fluid reciprocation that seems more beautiful. So I'm not trashing this company, I just want you to know in case you're a big fan of the Heart and Stroke Foundation, but it was just one example where it's like, oh, tricky. I know what you did there, right? And so when it comes to giving, I definitely know that there's two kinds. When I was doing all of this research, I was like, man, if we can distill this down into kind of a dichotomy, what would that look like? And it is unconditional and conditional, right? So conditional giving comes with an expectation of reciprocation, that it doesn't have to be a direct tit for tat. Like, here, I give you a coffee, you give me a coffee, right? It can also be like, well, I keep doing all of these things for you, and secretly inside, you're expecting that your gifts and talents and time is gonna get reciprocated at some point. And I'm not gonna make that bad, because it's not about it being bad, but it can build relationships. It can destroy them as well, right? And then you've got the unconditional giving. And in unconditional giving, you go out and give your time and your talent. And this also has the law of reciprocity at play, except you give over to God, Gaia, universe. And you go, okay, I'm just going out to do things that feel good for me. Oftentimes when I give, I never tell anybody. I just go and do it because it feels good, right? But then, I'm telling you, I have had so many things. I was talking to Cecil earlier when I first got here, and he's talking about how blessed his life has been. It's just like one blessing after another that ended up coming forward. And I can say that I also feel the same way. And then people have said to me, because givers gain, Jody. That is the law of reciprocity. And so, knowing my brain, I had to give it a deep dive. I got into the science of it all. And one of the things I know for certain is that how wide stretched giving goes is actually way beyond my comprehension. But I can tell you this, with the recent Nobel Prize win of the quantum entanglement theory, by the way, let's give this a woo, finally, okay, moment. Physics and science community has energetically locked arms with various spiritual communities that have been studying and practicing the laws of reciprocation for millennia, like us, right? These theories state that when you take two particles and separate them, each of the whole is energetically tied to the other. So if you replace a positive charge on one particle, it automatically negatively charges the other, because they are attached. It's a simultaneous reaction. So entangled particles are always interconnected, aware of each other's presence. Anything with mass has particles, but that doesn't mean that every particle has mass. So keep that in your mind. In order for particles to exist, they must be in a field. And in science, we call that field the Higgs field, or the quantum field. And in film, they call it the matrix. And in the computer land, they call it the interwebs. And in faith, we call it the universe. It's this invisible, untangible, yet binding web that connects us all. And it's why that what we put out comes back to us. Because we are a part of that whole. We are interconnected, and it's intricate, the things that we weave within that whole. And so as a heart is essential to a body, your presence, your unique footprint and expression in this world is essential to the emergence of all things. It's essential. You simply are a gift by being. Take that in for a second. Like, breathe that in. You showing up in your life to play life is a gift. And how you choose to play it is whether or not we decide to shine light or shine shadow. And unfortunately, in everyone's life, we are someone's villain. You guys get that? Mm-hmm. Me, little old Jody up here, is definitely a villain in someone's life. And it's never my intention. It's not necessarily our intention, but it's the roles that we play in the fabric of life. Okay? So, intentionally, I choose to shine light because I know that what I put out affects the whole, as do you. Okay? So when you positively charge this high vibration energy and put it out in the world, everybody gets to rise. This is really powerful, beautiful feeling that exists that we felt in here today already. We walked into it, and it's so delicious. I want to get a shirt that just says delicious in it, you know? Because it's just like, well, what's delicious? Oh my gosh, let me tell you. Like, anything can be delicious if it starts with us, right? It starts with our energy and our beingness and what we want to put out into the world. So our gift is us, actually. Our independent singularity within this whole that Viv has sung about today. You know? I want you to take away the idea that you matter, that your actual physical matter matters to the intricacy of all of the things, but so do your thoughts and your feelings. And I want you to consider moving through your day-to-day with the idea of being outward focused. Not that anybody in here is selfish. I like to think that when we take care of ourselves, that we're self-full. That it's important for us to, pour our own cups so that we can drink down what we need to in order to fill ourselves up so that we can pour out. However, if you are feeling full, self-filled in your day, then I'm going to challenge you to go out and see how you can make other people's days today. Could you offer a hug? I got lots of them when I walked in today. It's so nice. So nice, right? And reciprocate that with a hug. Could you offer kind words or a compliment? Be amazed at how many people thrive off of words of affirmation. It's a love language for people. And some people are deprived of this language, right? They don't hear it enough. They don't get to sit in the language of their love, how they experience love. Could you, hold a door, carry a bag of groceries, offer to support. By the way, there's some sort of energy on the word help. Can I help you? How many people in here have energy on that? Do you feel helpless when somebody says, can I help you? Instead, you can just replace that word with the word support. Hey, can I support you with that? Can I gift you my time for just a few minutes? right? I had a moment where I was sitting on in a brand new house, brand new, which means there's no yard. It literally is dirt outside my front door. And I'm a bit of a gardener. You guys, I like to stick my hands in the dirt, and I like to be one with the dirt. Anybody else in here? Yes, you get it. I remember a time in my life where I was like, ew, I didn't want dirt under my nails. And now I'm like, bring the dirt. Let me hug a tree while I'm at it, you know? If a bird flies in, woo, thank you, right? And I'm sitting and I'm looking at my neighbor's yard, which is that xeriscape landscaping. Oh, come on. Xeriscape landscaping is a joke, because weeds come from the top, not the bottom, right? So they come and fly in, and their yard is just weeds. And they're a young couple, and they hate doing yard work. And so I walked over and I said, I've got a weird request, and I know this is gonna sound weird. And they're like, okay. And I was like, can I weed your yard? And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed, I'm so sorry, we were gonna hire somebody to do it. I was like, oh no. It brings me joy to get my hand in the dirt. You're actually doing me a favor by letting me work on your yard. Would you be open to doing me that favor? And they were like, they like looked at each other. Yes, please. Yes, please, go ahead. Yeah. And then, you know, the first snow fell, and I'm out there and I'm shoveling my yard, and I'm like, go up and do both my neighbors. And it probably would have kept going down the, you know, get your half an hour workout in while you're shoveling. However, I stopped there, and I get a text from my neighbors, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so sweet. And I was like, no, guess what? Sometimes I'm away. And guess what happens in return? My yards get taken care of. I'm not worried about it. And if it doesn't, I have no resentment on it, because I play in unconditional giving. Okay? So if you find, and I will say this because it's coming through me to say it right now, if you find that you are a serial giver and you're around people that are not reciprocal, then that's truly a take. It's not a give. Okay? Does anybody here identify with being a serial giver? That's why I'm speaking to this right now. Okay? So it's really important for you guys to set boundaries around what you are willing to give. Okay? So that when you can say yes to yourself, which is a no to someone else. Okay? So that's coming through me in this second, not written in the speech, for you to hear. So please, I think we're at time. We're getting close. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to go over.
Yeah.
Because I can talk for hours. So I would just encourage you to go out into your day and look for ways that you can give. And we're going to start with our meditation today. Anybody done a metta meditation before? Or know what that is? It's a giving meditation. And so we start with giving to ourselves and embodying ourselves in love. And then we give to the room and the people within our, like literally that we could touch, okay? And then we give to the community of which we are in the space of. And then we give to the city of which we are in the space of. And then we give to the province. And then we give to the country. And then we just start expanding it, and then we bring it all back in to us. So we're gonna do that right now. You guys open to it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna sing the song first? Okay, you. Okay. Okay, that sounds wonderful.
Here and now, I am peace. Here and now, I am joy. Here and now, I am love. Here and now, here and now, I am peace. Here and now, I am joy. Here and now. here and now. I am peace, here and now. I am joy, here and now. I am love, here and now. Here and now.
Take a deep breath in. And imagine that love you just sang about all around you in light.
Thank you. Deep breath in. Light encompassing you, showering over you, enveloping your matter, your particles, your beingness. Breathe in that love. Imagine that light expanding to include all of your community around you, right here, right now in unity. Imagine them covered in your love's light. Breathe in and breathe out. Extend that light beyond these walls into this community within the city. Imagine everybody enveloped in light. Breathe in, breathe out. Take that light and expand it further. Encompass all of Calgary. Your beautiful light. Let it shine and move through and around and envelop all of the people within the city. And breathe it in. And push it out. Expand it around Alberta. All of this province enveloped in our light, in our energy, in our beingness. Enveloped in love. Enveloped in light. Extend it. Breathe it in and out. Extend it all of Canada. Put a special focus on Ontario and our mother energy there as her light burns for our friends. Envelop them in love and light and ease. Allow her journey to be eased. Breathe it in. Push it out. Extend it all around the world, encircling earth in love and light. Watch it dance and play and hold and hug and hover. Work its way around the world. Breathe it in and out. Slowly imagine that light just coming back toward you. Slowly. Does not leave a shadow. It leaves everything it's touched in illumination. And back to you. It's getting smaller and smaller and begins to settle in and around your beingness. There will be a part of your body that it radiates in. For some people, it's their solar plexus. For others, it's their root. For others, it's their crown. For some, it's their heart. Feel it in your body. Breathe it in.